Welcome to EnergyLab's 2024 Scale-Up Program Showcase, and thanks for joining us. I'm Megan Fisher, the CEO and Director at EnergyLab, and I'll be kicking things off today. I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the various lands on which we are meeting today. I'm on the lands of the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, the traditional custodians of this land, and I pay my respects to the elders, both past, present, and emerging, and celebrate the diversity of Aboriginal peoples and their ongoing culture and the connections to the lands and waters on which we live our lives. If you're new to the EnergyLab community, in that case, we absolutely welcome you to today's session. EnergyLab launched in 2017 with the mission to help decarbonise the planet by accelerating the growth of clean energy and climate tech startups. We connect founders and startups addressing the global climate crisis to the support they need to succeed. We offer a series of programs that can take founders from ideation all the way through to global growth. And our programs are supported by our incredible network of over 400 mentors, 200 angel investors, and 350 program alumni. Institutional investors, industries, university, and government. So thanks for joining us, and let's kick off the showcase. Today we are running using Zoom webinar. In case you're not aware, you can drag the slider located between the slides and the presenters so that the presenters are a little bit easier for you to see. Feel free to introduce yourself in the chat tab. We'll also be using the Q&A function at the bottom of your screen to take questions during the showcase. Feel free to add your questions while our startups are presenting, and make sure that you mention which startup you'd like to answer a particular question where that's relevant. We've got a pretty fast-paced hour ahead of us, showcasing some of the leading startup innovation from across the world that is supporting the renewable energy transition. You'll hear from one of our industry partners and their support and engagement in this program, and then our Scale-Up Program lead, Tim Bray, will introduce each of the startups in the cohort to share more about how their technologies are being used by industry in the areas of community engagement and social license, an increasingly important area in the transition in Australia, consumer energy resources, grid digitisation and resilience, as well as energy storage for the grid and heavy industry. Now in its 5th year, the EnergyLab Scale-Up Program brings together leading members of the energy industry in Australia with clean energy startups from all over the world. For our energy industry partners, the program offers a supportive and structured way so that they can investigate collaboration and pilot projects with startups that align with their strategic focus areas. And they get the visibility of startups both locally and globally, along with understanding the most innovative technologies and business solutions being developed by the clean energy startup ecosystem. 10 energy companies have joined us this year: Endeavour Energy, Powerlink, Ausgrid, AceRes, Aurora Energy, FRV, Transgrid, SA Power Networks, AEMO and Arena. Arena, by the way, also support this program through their Advancing Renewables initiative. I'd like to thank them so much for their involvement. Supporting startups to work with the industry is a key focus for EnergyLab and an essential part of a healthy ecosystem, and we really couldn't do this without them. I'd now like to welcome to the stage Melissa Duahy. Mel is the Head of Strategy and Innovation at Endeavour Energy, leading the development of the Decarbonising the Grid 2035 strategy and also managing Endeavour Energy's innovation partnerships. Endeavour Energy has also been supporting this program for the last 4 years, and it has been really, really fantastic to work with an organisation so focused on innovation in this sector. Thank you so much for joining us, Mel.
Thank you. Thanks to everybody online. Thanks, Megan, Tim, and the EnergyLab team.
It's wonderful to have you here. So can you tell us a little bit more about Endeavour Energy's strategy to decarbonise the grid?
Yes, I think it's really important to, as a network, to be able to continue to provide a network that's safe, reliable, affordable, and probably even more so given the climate challenges that we're faced with. I think, in end of 2019, early 2020, we were faced with some of the most devastating bushfires and then floods. So we've certainly had our fair share of impacts to the network. So we need to do that and do that even better. But we also have a role, and we have a role in terms of decarbonisation. So what can we do as a network that has operated for 130 years in a particular way, you know, and how do we operate now into the future where, you know, we've got these two-way flows, we've got generation happening at both ends of the supply chain or the value chain. So yeah, I think there's an obligation to our customers, an obligation, you know, to the state and to the country in terms of, you know, our role in decarbonising. So it certainly sits at the forefront of our corporate strategy, a strategy that was very asset focused, now is very much focused on what's, you know, of leading in this energy transition. So yeah, very, very big focus for Endeavour Energy and stepping into that, the challenges that lie ahead. Yeah.
Thanks, Mel. Certainly a much more complicated world than it used to be. How do partnerships like those between EnergyLab and Endeavour feed into that strategy?
Yes, well, a big focus, and it's called out in the strategy, is working with partnerships and innovation. Is, you know, they're the enabling strategies for us to deliver on kind of our 4 strategic priority areas. We know that we can't do this alone. We've certainly partnered in the past, partnered probably more in areas of equipment, maybe partnered in areas of you know, software, but probably not partnered in a way, or, you know, maybe as deliberately as we are really focused on today in terms of solving for unknowns, solving for challenges, and knowing that we haven't got all the answers. And we know that the answers require a collective thoughtship, if you like. So there's a really deliberate focus on partnerships and innovation in our strategy because, yeah, as I said, Endeavour can't do this alone. So without the thinkers from, you know, across all aspects of the sector, startups in particular, that's where we feel that we can do better by our customers and do better by, you know, as our role as a network provider. So obviously, as you said, we've been with EnergyLab for 4 years, but and that's been a great partnership, but we, you know, have really focused on lifting, you know, that partnership with startups to put us in a really good position for our future.
Thanks, Mel. And obviously these sorts of partnerships have really good strategic and commercial benefits for Endeavour, but increasingly workforces become so important as part of their energy transition. Can you talk to us about how that relates to your people strategy?
That's a really really important call out, because often, you know, especially with these early technologies, the commercials aren't as clear, and it's really hard to build that kind of business case, if you like, for our, you know, for our board, for our executive. And so we really talk to the benefits, so and not just the financial benefits, obviously, that we hope long-term we will achieve, but the people benefits that we will get out of engaging in this way and bringing in, you know, innovations and startups into the mix. And it's certainly, I mean, I've been with Endeavour now for 3.5 years, and I have seen the, you know, the attention or the interest grow in our business as we've really pushed this innovation agenda at Endeavour. And it's been, I mean, fantastic. We had, you know, late last year, that fantastic pitch event, which, you know, we got about 50 or 60 people really engaged, and there's a lot happening, but there's definitely a strong engagement, which means better work, means better outcomes for our business. So it's the people aspect is definitely the most important part of why we want to partner and innovate in this way.
Great. I love that, Mel. Thank you so much for joining us today, and the really important leadership role that you and the Endeavour team are playing in this space. All of those themes around collaboration and things just being so different and needing to engage workforce are so important. Thank you so much again for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'd now like to pass to Tim Bray, who is our Scale-Up Program lead. Over to you, Tim.
Thanks, Megan, and thank you, Mel. I really appreciate the leadership Endeavour's shown in this space. Look, the Scale-Up Program at EnergyLab is really unique in that it is industry-led, and it wouldn't happen without the involvement of our industry partners. And it's with great pleasure that I'd like to introduce the Scale-Up Program cohort for 2024. So the 2024 Scale-Up Program cohort consists of 5 startups from Australia, 4 from Europe, and 1 from the US, with technologies spanning grid digitisation, advanced analytics, social license, C&I decarbonisation, distributed energy resource management, and the very futuristic on-demand satellite imaging. These startups represent the best in innovative technologies across the energy sector, and have been selected in consultation with industry leaders. So we've grouped the startups into 4 brackets for today, starting off with community engagement and social license. And after each bracket of presentations, you have the ability to ask questions. So while our startups are presenting, please throw your questions in the Q&A box down the bottom, and we'll get to them after each bracket. If you'd like your question addressed by a particular founder or a startup, make sure to include that with your question too. So our first 2 startups today have developed software solutions for renewable energy and grid infrastructure developers to progress efforts in the increasingly important areas of community engagement and social license. This is the first time that we've selected startups who are operating in this space. And we believe that's a reflection of the urgent need to innovate in this area. So first up, we've got Kate Azaze, who's CEO and co-founder of ReSwitch. I'd like to welcome Kate to the stage here. ReSwitch is a community benefit sharing. Sorry, Kate, I just saw an alert come up for you. Chuck that up again if you need to. So ReSwitch is a community benefit sharing and communication platform that simplifies the disbursement of benefits from developers to residents living near renewable energy development projects. Kate, I can get you to share your screen now, and I'll pass to you.
Right. You can see my screen?
Absolutely.
Perfect. Hi, everyone. My name is Kate Azaze. I'm one of the founders of ReSwitch. So ReSwitch is a digital platform that enables residents living near renewable energy development to receive reduced power bill as direct benefits from these projects. Australia is facing a major energy shortfall. And according to Energy Minister Chris Bowen, we need to be building 40 wind turbines every month to reach our 2030 energy target. We are building at less than half of this rate. Community acceptance of energy infrastructure is the biggest risk facing Australia's energy future. And without community support, the energy transition will fail. But the good news is that there is overwhelming feedback that cheaper power prices encourage community support. In Australia and overseas, communities are requesting lower energy costs for having wind turbines nearby. In the UK, Octopus Energy reported they received 30,000 written requests from locals asking to host turbines, driven by demand for cheaper power. Similarly, in Australia, we've heard from community groups echoing the need for affordable energy as a direct benefit of hosting renewables. This is where ReSwitch comes in, a digital platform enabling residents living near renewable energy development to receive free or reduced power bills as project benefits without switching their existing energy providers. We have developed a simple 2-sided platform that connects developers to communities, enabling developers to use their community benefit funds to lower residents' power bills. Developers simply select their community on the ReSwitch platform and customize energy credit distribution. ReSwitch streamlined admin with a single payment system. ReSwitch is retailer agnostic. For community members, we provide visibility of all eligible benefits and deliver power bill credits to their existing energy account. It's easy and hassle-free. We are providing tangible, immediate, and long-term financial benefits. With ReSwitch, every wind turbine or transmission line in your community brings real savings to your power bills. We need your help to accelerate our deployment. we are looking for pilot partners. If you know a wind farm, solar farm, or transmission line developers, or a community living in their shadows, we would love to connect with you. You can scan the QR code on the screen, visit our website at research.com, or email me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kate. And I'd like to now pass to Tristan Place from VisSpatial. VisSpatial have built out an infrastructure visualization platform called VisAR. VisAR is designed to transform community consultation and stakeholder engagement practices for energy and infrastructure projects. And a reminder to throw questions for Kate in the chat. Great to have you, Tristan. I'll pass to you and you can start sharing your screen.
How's that?
Perfect.
Excellent. Thank you, Tim. Good afternoon, everyone joining us today. My name is Tristan Place, co-founder of VisAR. VisAR has set out to help solve the problem that is costing renewable energy project operators billions of dollars. This has been well documented by AMO, Infrastructure Australia, and many other organisations. Failure to obtain social licence to build and operate projects causes lengthy delays and expensive holding costs for project operators. Current visualisation methodologies for community and landholder engagement are not personalised or localised. And that's essential because everyone's view is different. Every community member and landholder has a different view and therefore understanding of the project outlook and aspect from their property or vantage point. With VisAR, anyone can see future infrastructure designs from any location. Contextually relevant and accurate view of what it will look like from my house, my business, or common vantage point. VisAR provides project operators with the ability to deliver the community, landholders, and stakeholders an informed and personalised experience of the visibility of the project assets in a context that's relevant to the viewer. VisAR's platform is designed to support communications, operations, and management teams to show how their design will look live in the real world with augmented reality, 3D visualizations, mapping layers, and project data. Our platform consists of a front-end iOS app for mobile and tablets and a back-end web management console that manages the project data, 3D models, GIS data, and user profiles, supported with professional services and delivered under an annual subscription and services model. VisAR's plans are to capture and collect and analyse location and engagement data for our clients. Our vision is to deliver data, ingest and management engine to enable visually engaging, contextually relevant, location-based data that can be understood by communities and stakeholders at any literacy level. VisAR enables project operators to have frank and transparent conversations in real time from anywhere, supported with data and engaging visualizations. VisAR improves engagement metrics, supports EES and EIS applications with engagement data such as who saw what, when and where, reduces digital communications costs and ultimately minimises delays with rapid personalised engagement experiences. To date, we've secured Tier 1 foundation clients such as AusNet, RWE, ASIN and others, secured an innovation partnership with global IT services firm DXC Technology, received overwhelmingly positive feedback from our clients and developed a really strong pipeline of new business that is constantly converting through direct sales efforts and referrals. Our current focus is on the Australian renewable energy sector, targeting the 600 renewable energy projects that are shovel-ready and in planning. We plan to build a client base to approximately 400 clients within the next 4 years and deliver annual recurring revenues in excess of $9 million under a funded business plan. To achieve this, VisAR now seeks capital investment and introductions to project operators and ecosystem partners to achieve our goal of helping clients to minimise their communications costs, reduce the project delays, and support their social licence programs. If you're interested in talking to us, our contact details are below. and of course, you can get those from the EnergyLab team. I'd like to thank EnergyLab for the opportunity to be part of this year's Scale-Up cohort, and special thanks to the mentors, industry partners who gave their time and insights to help as they are. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Tristan. And I'd like to invite Kate from Reswitch back to the stage here now for some Q&A. And in fact, the first question that I can see from Richard in the Q&A for Kate. So apart from renewable projects like transmission lines, wind farm, etc., do you see a market for your product outside of renewable energy development?
Yes, absolutely. Our technology is not limited to a particular segment. So it can be used for mining sector, for example, infrastructure projects generally, and even beyond infrastructure projects. So it's been designed such that irrespective of whether our customers are renewable energy developers, there is no direct link to the energy being generated. So from that perspective, it can be used in any sector that is interested in engaging with their community and really building their social license.
And I can see some people are putting questions in the chat. So there's a separate button at the bottom of the Zoom screen, Q&A, and you can type the questions in there. It'd be awesome if people could pop the questions in there rather than the chat. But I do see one here from Laura. Another question for Kate, whether or not you see governments as one of those potential customers.
Yes, absolutely. So we are solving a problem for renewable energy industry. We're also solving a problem more broadly for the government. And governments need to get community buy-in and really need to sell the story of the transition and bring communities along in the journey. And Reswitch has really been designed to help facilitate that. So yes, government agencies, renewable energy zones coordinators in different jurisdictions are potential customers and ideal users of our platform.
And then a similar question for you, Tristan, as obvious examples of visualizing transmission lines and these sort of big projects. I know you've had some conversations with our partners, including Endeavour, about some other ways to use the tech. Could you talk a little bit about the potential to use them for smaller scale community batteries or even for staff training and things like that?
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, yes, that's from many clients. The BESS or own community batteries or large-scale battery placements have certainly been a project type that's been of interest to show people visually, of course, how those installations will look in the landscape. And especially with our near future in terms of device compatibility with wearables such as the Apple Vision Pro, we're certainly seeing interest in training and simulations that are related to the 3D models and the assets types and project types that we're delivering for our clients.
Yeah, thank you, Tristan. I can see some other questions in the Q&A box there, so I'd invite you both to monitor those, and Tristan and Kate will be able to answer questions using the keyboard in the chat function there. So thank you both, and let's move on to the next section here. So the second session, our next two startups represent innovative software solutions in the distributed and consumer energy resources space. First up, we've got Diagno Energy. Diagno interfaces with smart energy devices like solar and battery inverters, as well as energy meters to analyze the health of these assets. I'd like to welcome Chris Martel to the stage. Diagno presents diagnostic and investment information in a format that is precise, intuitive, and actionable. And I'd like to pass over to you now, Chris. You can go ahead and share your screen.
Thank you, Tim. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
All right, great. All right, well, I wanted to start off with the problem that Diagno is looking to solve here. So Diagno's founders, I'm one of them. Hello, everyone, Chris Martel. We've got experience conducting tens of thousands of field audits for solar and battery systems across Australia. And the story that we keep seeing over the years, over and over again from these asset owners that own these assets, is that even the most sophisticated of these asset owners don't really have a great understanding of their system's performance or risk profile. And more importantly, the things that we find in the field is that largely these systems have underperformance associated with them, or potentially are unsafe, and they're sitting out there operating this way for long periods of time, which might be shocking or might not be to many. So what we dreamed of was a platform that could sort of operate like an angel on your shoulder, and provide simple, actionable advice to decision makers, whether you're an asset owner or an asset manager. And that advice would be related to system performance, optimization, rectification solutions, system upgrades, end-of-life solutions, risk assessment, and multiple things around that. And so that's what we've created with Diagno. It's based off of a machine learning engine that we've developed in collaboration with the University of New South Wales, UTS, and the APVI. And so even though this system is incredibly powerful and we're building it for multiple reasons, I think the best way to articulate why it's powerful is with an example. So I just wanted to focus the attention on a specific example that we've had recently. A customer approached us with an 800 kilowatt system that was underperforming. And the only reason why they knew that is because their electricity bills seemed higher than they should have been. So they came to us and we onboarded their system, and immediately Diagno picked up multiple faults and voltage anomalies, which was diagnosed as multiple earth faults. And then Diagno told us exactly where to look for the system, look in the system for that fault. And the customer asked if we could help them to conduct a field audit. So we did that for them, and Diagno again showed us where to go to investigate. And we found corroded lidded cable tray there. And we opened up with the cable tray, and this is what we found. We found cabling that had been singed and arcing had occurred, but this was picked up prior to any aggregation or propagation of the fault, and we likely presented a much bigger issue. What happened ultimately is we were able to replace everything and bring the system up to fully operating, but this is a situation that this customer never would have been aware of without something like Diagno. And the number of systems that exist in this situation at the moment or in the future is countless. This is an absolutely enormous problem. Most of our assets owners are focused on building more assets, which is great, but this is a problem that's sort of hiding under the sheets, and we want to be able to provide a solution to that. We feel like we're doing that with Diagno. If you have any questions, we're very welcome to entertain them at the end of the session, or you can get in touch with us. And I've put our website there for you to investigate. Thanks so much, Tim.
Thanks, Chris. And now we're moving on to David Barshevsky from Teco. So David's the co-founder and managing director of Teco. And Teco is a software company designing and developing innovative software and machine learning solutions that connect energy systems to the internet, enabling seamless integration and optimization of these distributed energy assets. So great to have you, David. I'll stop sharing and you can go ahead and share your screen now.
Can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Great. Thank you very much, Tim. And thank you for EnergyLab for the opportunity. My name is David Barshevsky. I'm the managing director, a co-founder of Teco. Teco is a leading software solution in the forefront for designing and developing innovative software and machine learning solution for the DER sector. We're pioneering the transition for distributed energy resources and market leading in seamless integration, optimization of distributed energy resources. Our company is 23 months old, and we are based in Melbourne, Australia, with a dedicated team of 10 engineers. We see ourselves as leaders in the energy sector, leading the revolution and delivering cutting-edge technology and data-driven approaches. So a little bit on our technology. We got two software solutions. One we named Laplace on the right-hand side. Laplace is a Linux-based embedded software that designed for site management and power management. It incorporated energy management and interface for energy markets. Laplace software is a technology agnostic. It can integrate with all majority original equipment manufacturers and is incorporating power control for grid operators and energy management for retailers and aggregators. It's incorporating all Australian and North American communication and cybersecurity protocols. The second product that I would like to present is Teco Cloud. Teco Cloud is an exchange of data and control for energy retailers, VPP, and aggregators to be able to monitor and control in real time distributed energy resources. It provide them capability through tailored API, and the cloud also provide to the retailers and aggregators advanced analytics and machine learning services as required. A little bit on traction. So in Australia, as I mentioned, we're 23 years old, but we already got over 100 DERs with Laplace software inside, like you can see on the top left-hand side, 8 sub-utility battery system incorporated with and without solar. We hosting on our servers currently 10 VPP aggregators for battery, solar PV, and demand response. Teco is the first technology company in Australia that incorporated crypto mining for very fast FCAS in Australia, and we're providing Laplace solution for 4 battery OEMs in Australia and North America. Lastly, last month, we expanded to Mexico, and we commissioned our first Laplace software in Mexico. Our vision is to become an integral part of the tech industry. We're looking to collaborate with key players like network service providers, retailers, aggregators, original equipment manufacturers, and developers to develop further tech in the Australian and the North American market. If you got any question, please free to contact me.
Thanks a lot, David. Really appreciate that. We're running a little over time, but I'm going to squeeze in one quick question for Chris here. So, Chris, David talked a little bit about the sort of people that they're looking to talk to and work with. Could you talk about the clients or customers that Diagno is interested in talking to at the moment?
Yeah, we're interested in speaking with commercial, industrial, solar, battery, EV charging asset owners and asset managers, and small utility scale as well at this stage.
Definitely some crossover there with Teco. David, any other folks that you're particularly interested in talking to at the moment?
We would like to talk with network service providers in regards of CDR or CER program, how to incorporate now technology, distributed energy resources into upcoming exchange.
Thank you. And again, if there's any additional questions for David and Chris, please throw them in the Q&A box there. Don't be shy. Thank you, David. Thank you, Chris. They'll stick around to answer questions in the chat there. All right, let's move along to our third group now for the day. So we're going to focus now on grid digitisation and resiliency. And first up, we have Kate Van Dam calling in from Sky-Fi. Kate is calling in from the East Coast of the United States. It's extremely early in the morning, and we really appreciate you joining us at this time. Sky-Fi's futuristic geospatial data marketplace is unleashing the power of global satellite imagery and analytics in enhancing operations and promoting environmental stewardship. I'll stop sharing. Kate, over to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm really excited to share here what we are building at Sky-Fi. So my name is Kate. I run strategy and everything BD here at Sky-Fi. So anything sales, federal is my team. Sky-Fi, we are the Earth Intelligence Platform of the world. Sounds like a pretty big name. And It sounds like it may or may not be relevant, but I assure you we're relevant to everyone. The world is always changing and your data needs to keep up with it. What we say here is you see on the right-hand side, you've got a picture of Google Earth, and then you've got an updated image of Sky5. Google Earth is a great tool, but what most of us need in order to push forward our industry and our business is updated satellite imagery and analytics on top of that. Why we were born, it is extremely difficult to task a satellite and find updated satellite imagery. This is because this industry is traditionally tied to government acquisition cycles. So this can be slow, huge minimums to pay in the $500,000 range, very restrictive licensing agreements. And you need to send essentially, your mother's maiden name and a vial of blood to get a satellite image. So we figured in a day and age where you can purchase a house online, you can purchase a car online, why can't we just all task a satellite? Because there are over 8,000 low Earth orbit, and there's been a huge proliferation in the commercial satellite industry, especially over the last decade. So at Sky5, we see things differently. We have put together a huge group of partners, everything from atmospheric balloons, satellite companies, aerial imagery. We've also gathered partners who are analytic providers. This is everything from that individual indie developer to large, well-known name in the geospatial world. We've put this into a very intuitive, usable platform. You can go right now to app.skyfi.com, and during my 2 minutes remaining in my presentation, you can task a satellite and you can run analytics on top of that. It's also in app form. We have over 67,000 users in every country we can legally sell to. This ranges from everything from agriculture to energy sector to mining, and this is from small businesses as well as those large conglomerates as well. On our platform, this is kind of just an easy visual to see. We are working to the end of the year to be offering the largest virtual constellation to Sky5 users in the world. We do this because we have strong partnerships. We're not investing in hardware, we're investing in the capabilities. These are some examples of trusted partners. For those familiar with the geospatial world, you'll see a lot of names you know. For those who are not, don't worry about this page. We'll go ahead and move on from here. We've covered over 100% of the Earth's surface. This is really important to us, especially from the analytics perspective, everything from soil moisture content to, I know for the energy sector, we've spoken a lot to vegetation encroachment, et cetera. We can work with you. We're also very proud of our customer support. We know that sometimes this can be a very overwhelming industry in which to break and to utilize the tools, and we are happy to walk you through, to hold your hand, or you can self-serve as well. This is our leadership team. We come from across the military. My own background is military. Our CEO is former special operations. Julian, who's our head of engineering, has built up an amazing team of ex-Uber and ex-FinTech. We do this intentionally because we are not geospatial experts, and we want to make sure that we are able to scale this in a very usable manner as well. Mike, who runs our operations, has a lot of background both in the military and AI as well.
Kate, I'm going to have to jump in here and cut you off. Sorry, we're
No,
pushed
that's
for
okay.
time, but let's chat more about Sky5 in the Q&A coming right up. And now I'd like to welcome Paula from SafeGrid, calling in from Europe this morning. So very early morning, not quite as early as Kate, but still pretty early, and we appreciate that. SafeGrid provide a simplified and scalable fault monitoring solution for electric transmission and distribution grids. And Paula, over to you to share your screen.
Here we go. Can you see it? Not yet.
Not yet.
All right, here we go.
Wonderful, thank you.
Okay, thanks for the chance. So SafeGrid is a 3-in-1 sensor software, sensor hardware and SaaS software platform for grid fault location, prediction, and wildfire mitigation. So step 1 is fault location. We put an X on a map. It might sound simple, but really it's not. Our real-time accurate location of a fault gives the distribution network service providers a chance to reduce their need for patrolling and thus avoid the costly downtime. The unique benefits of our fault location is that we have a wide validation by over 60 customers globally in different grid types, and we have an industry-leading capability to identify also earth faults. Step 2 is fault prediction. So SafeGrid gives you hotspots of upcoming future faults on a map. Our hotspots of precursory events on a map give our customers a chance to do targeted predictive maintenance efforts based on actual need for repairs, rather than just relying on statistics. This enables our customers optimizing their investments and reducing the unplanned outage, which can really cost like 100 times more than the planned outage. The unique benefits of our fault prediction is that we provide automated analytics with real-time results. And also we are very cost competitive, driven mostly by our low sensor density. Step 3 is the wildfire mitigation. This third functionality of our platform we are currently building up and are looking for lead customers. We have a unique data set of both the historic fault events as well as the precursory events, on top of which we already have integrated weather data and are in the process of integrating other wildfire risk relevant data. With this powerful combination of data, we are able to provide an efficient, scalable platform for increasing your wildfire mitigation coverage very fast and very cost efficiently compared to many other wildfire mitigation approaches. At SafeGrid, we are destined to enter the Australian market, and we would be very, very happy to connect with potential customers or partners. Thank you.
Thank you, Paula. Really appreciate that. And the Q&A box is looking pretty quiet at the moment, so I invite everyone to throw questions in the Q&A box for Kate and Paula. And now let's move on to our third speaker in this bracket, Mark Hartman, co-founder of Snappy. Snappy unlocks energy data at scale for analysis and action with their AI-powered IoT digital meter reader. Welcome, Mark. You can start sharing your screen.
Thank you, Tim. There we go. Hi, everyone, and thank you for your time today. I'm going to take you on a bit of a journey. Some of you and those of you who have seen my presentation before, please bear with me. Humanity has opened the gates of hell and unleashed heat waves, floods, and wildfires. Time's up. We must turn up the tempo, turn plans into action, and turn the tide. Wise words by Antonio Guterres, the Secretary General of the United Nations. We all know it, and unfortunately, it's us who have created this problem. Now, the energy sector and the EPA have worded it well, is the largest emitter of greenhouse gases in our environment, and it contributes to climate change. In turn, the changes in the climate are disrupting the energy networks themselves. The reason this is important is obviously energy networks are motivated themselves to make change. Now, there are a few changes going ahead, and the accelerated smart meter rollout is one of them. We absolutely stand behind the smart meter rollout. It's extremely important, and the reason is it's all about the data. As Collier says from the AEMC, it's demand management for the grid, it's decarbonisation for the environment, and of course, energy savings for consumers. But they're problems. We've learned this from the Victorian smart meter rollout and many others abroad. There are installation challenges, unforeseen tech redundancies, cybersecurity risks, social license issues, and of course, we don't want to leave people behind, those who are renting or in apartments. One of the greatest issues, I would suggest it's the #1 issue, is 20% of all homes That amounts for 1.2 million homes across the national energy market. We have 6 million that we're going to change over to smart meters. 1.2 million of those have installation issues. That is faulty wiring, asbestos, and the likes, which means when a technician turns up to change the meter, they simply can't. 1.2 million homes at a remediation cost of about 5,000 each is a $6 billion unaccounted for cost, and that cost will ultimately be passed on to energy consumers. But there's a solution. Now, I'm small on the screen, but I'll show you anyway. That is a old traditional meter, and this is a snappy reader. Simply attach the snappy reader to the old analog meter, and you've digitized it. Now, this old piece of tech can do some pretty cool stuff. It's installed in seconds, zero service interruption, inexpensive hardware, and no loss on current return on investment infrastructure. It unlocks a whole lot of use cases. Here are a few of them: time of use billing, carbon trading, leak detection, resource conservation, consumption monitoring, and the rest. And we are built for digitization at scale. This is a bit of a cheeky slide because we say we could digitize the entire national energy market by 2026, when the accelerated rollout is planning to do that by 2030. But being that it's all about the data, and we know we don't get the data that you get from smart meters, and smart meters are absolutely the future. However, we believe we can do a lot with that data in the meanwhile at a very low cost. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks a lot, Mark. Again, questions for Mark, pop them in the chat window there. And now I'd like to invite our final speaker for this bracket. Sebastian Sarun from calling in from Spain. Sebastian is the CEO of CentraSense, who provide advanced power line monitoring solutions that are designed to optimize grid efficiency, enhance reliability, and support sustainable energy transitions. Their Sentry sensors are lightweight, easy to install, and offer continuous real-time monitoring of overhead power lines. Sebastian, you can go ahead and share your screen. Over to you.
Hello, everybody. Good morning. I'm still waking up today, but let's make another presentation about energy transition that I'm pretty sure that you have heard a lot of them. What is energy transition? A change in the way that we are consuming energy. And a good example is an electric car. Charging an electric car, it's equivalent to 1 week of electricity consumption in our houses. So that means all the energy that used to be oil and gas now requires a conductor. And on top of that, we have AI. Probably you have heard about ChatGPT. In order to run those models, you need data centers. A data center can consume as much electricity as a big city. This is why the International Energy Agency is telling us that we need to build 152 million kilometers of new power lines. To give you an idea of that number, is the distance between the Earth and the Sun. That will require a massive amount of resources. That's not the problem. Problem is time. Building a power line takes on average 10 years. So whatever action that we do today to sort out the energy transition, it will take a decade. So we wonder, what can we do to solve the energy transition today? And that's why CentraSense was born. We are powering up a greener future. But our vision is to digitize and optimize the power grid. But let me tell you how this is possible. So you have quick physics lessons. We have a conductor, an overhead conductor. It's a piece of metal. When the electricity flows through that conductor, it gets hot. If it gets too hot, it gets damaged. And all the utilities over there, they will complain. They don't want to go and they feel and replace those conductors. That's why they use a limit. But the wind blows and cools the conductor. But then the sun rises and heat the conductor again. So there is a dynamic where the weather variables are affecting heavily how you can operate the conductor. That's why, as I mentioned before, utilities apply a limit. They define a worst-case scenario for summer, worst-case scenario for winter, and they don't push any single megawatt to that point. What we do is to take into consideration the weather in order to understand how to optimize and add additional capacity in the network, utilizing 100% of your asset. And on top of that, we are also providing early fault detection. We can detect in advance where do you need to replace the conductor. And in the case that you cannot understand or predict where those conductors are going to fail, cases of bushfires, fallen trees, or wire theft, we are really good detecting wire theft, we can let you in the map where that issue is happening. The key is the Sentry sensor, a light and easy to install device that can operate in any kind of power line. It's a self-sufficient device. You just need to go install it in the line and you leave it there, and then it's connected. It's sending online information. Our unique selling point is that we can install it by drone. The installation, and I have only 3 minutes, so I cannot show you the video, even though that lasts 45 seconds, we can do it by drone. And on top of that, it's a universal product. You can use it in transmission and you can use it in distribution. And we are universal too, because we can use it in conductors and we can use it for monitoring towers. We have a software that can identify different conditions in the lines. Our business model is simple. We sell sensors, and then we have a subscription fee that allow us to understand and see what's happening with our software. We have customers in 12 countries all around the world, including Australia, New Zealand, and the States. We are CentriSense. We are powering a greener future. And as I have probably 20 seconds more, I would like to tell you, if you're working in a transmission system operator, in a distribution system operator, please contact me. You have it here, Sebastian@centrisense.com. We can help you to find out really interesting things in your network. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Sebastian. So Sebastian, stick around for Q&A. Kate, Mark, and Paolo, I'd invite you back here. We've got a couple of questions coming in. For Mark from Snappy, can the Snappy sensor be installed by the consumer, or does it require an installer or an electrician?
It doesn't require any licensed trade. So yes, theoretically, it could be installed by the end consumer. I guess that all depends on the DNSP who currently own the assets across the national energy market. Since they own the asset, attaching anything to them it may not be received well.
And a question for Kate from Skyfi. What resolution of imagery can you provide? I'm going to assume that this is talking about the spatial resolution of assets that you can
absolutely.
photograph.
That's a great question. It depends on the phenomenology. So electro-optical is like a normal picture that you take. We have up to 7 centimeter resolution with our aerial providers. This especially gets flown after disasters. All the way up to your standard, 15 meters for open data, which is free. And then once you start getting into SAR, synthetic aperture radar, which is bouncing radar off the ground, really good for all weather capability. We also have extremely super high resolution there. So whole gamut. I encourage you to check it out, app.skyfi.com. I'll drop it here in the chat so you can check it out. But everything is open there. You don't even have to sign up. You can see what we do and how much it'll cost, transparent pricing as well.
Thanks, Kate. And then a dual question for Sebastian and Paola. I'm interested in both of in why SafeGrid and CentriSense have identified the Australian market as a key market. Paola, let's start with you.
Yeah, we really feel that whereas we globally have great point solutions available to the challenges that our customers face, cost efficiency and being able to optimize investments is the key. And for that reason, the SafeGrid 3-in-1, getting the fault location, fault prediction, and wildfire mitigation with one cost-efficient solution is perfect for the needs of customers, especially in markets like Australia, where you have like long distances and quite a lot of overhead line with the wildfire risk being a real issue. So we really feel that our solution is a great match for the Australian market.
And Sebastian.
Well, Paula just summarized it pretty well, but it's something that we learned with working with our customers in Australia. It's a massive country. I remember one time a guy was telling me, oh, I need to drive just 8 hours to go to the place, do an inspection and came back. So just 8 hours. And we can do the same process completely remotely. And that's, I think, is the key, as Paula was mentioning, that we can save that money, we can save that time, we can optimize the way that you're using resources and make your life easier and better.
Thank you all. We're going to keep moving now for our final bracket for the afternoon, and keep an eye on the Q&A chat there, and please throw any more questions in for the 4 startups that we've just heard from. And so now we shift our focus to energy storage solutions for grid scale storage, EV fleets, and heat storage for commercial and industrial sector. Starting off with that heat storage piece, I'd like to welcome Cedric from Craftblock. Craftblock's storage solutions enable the seamless integration of renewable energy sources to high temp industrial processes, paving the way for a more sustainable future. So over to you, Cedric.
Well, thank you, Tim. Let me just share my presentation here. Can you see it now, full screen?
Yes.
All right, great, thanks. Well, hello from Germany and from Craftblock. What we aim is to decarbonize process heat, which accounts for 40% of global emissions. So we've taken a big chunk of emissions to tackle. And how we are doing it is providing a hardware storage platform, taking renewable energy sources, which you see here on the left, and especially renewable electricity, storing them as heat in a sustainable storage material and delivering it flexible to certain applications from industries, in Australia, first of all, mining, district heating, and even fossil-fired power generation, which we can transform into a green operation. Inside the storage, we have a newly developed storage material, which is upcycled 85% from waste products. So we don't have certain resource problems that come along with other forms of energy, and it is very high efficient for the use of energy as heat. We are having a high temperature approach because, of course, in some industries we need high temperatures, but also because the economics of high temperatures are better than low temperature. This storage is usually stationary at the use of the industry or district heating, but also can be made mobile. And how this looks, this is a project we do with PepsiCo in the Netherlands, a factory producing Lay's crisps, 1 billion bags every day going out, and these crisps need to be fried at up to 300 degrees C. And what we do is we replace the gas-fired boiler with a system that uses renewable energy, renewable electricity converting to heat, storing it to the time of use, and then replacing this gas. This avoids, in the end, up to 17,000 tons of carbon dioxide. And this is translatable into operations such as mining, for steam, for mineral refining, and of course, many other industries who usually use steam, thermal oil, or hot air directly. And this is also interesting for energy utilities who can make a business case for customers like PepsiCo with this. And there are some extreme economics going on with electrification in Australia. In our analysis, we took a look at Victoria. Imagine a great industrial customer, 50 gigawatt hour a month. When you do direct electrification, you have to take a lot of peak hour costs into that, because a lot of industrials run 24/7, if you can make it flexible. Of course, there's some peak hour costs, but most of them, through the energy storage of Craftblock, can be flexible, and thus you can tap negative priced hours. And this is the most extreme scenario we calculated so far over the world, but leading to basically getting money to use energy. And this makes a great business case for utilities to utilize this sort of technology and decarbonize industries on the way. And I'm already done. I hope you have a lot of questions. This is our earliest pilot, just so that you see one system in life, and thanks a lot.
Thank you, Cedric. And our final speaker for today, I'd like to welcome Dr. Kai-Philipp Kairis, calling in from Germany, and really appreciate you calling in early in your morning after a Q staff party last night. So good on you, and apologies for scheduling it at this time. A Q battery utilizes cloud computing and advanced analytics to maximize battery safety, performance, and lifetime. Kai-Philipp, over to you.
Absolutely. And well, thank you for inviting me. I really appreciate the opportunity, because Australia is an incredibly interesting market for batteries, and I'm going to talk more about it in a second. First, some good news. earlier this year, batteries officially became the fastest growing energy technology in human history. And Australia is actually on its way to become the third largest market for grid-connected batteries globally. And this is great for the energy transition, but it also means that battery problems now become more relevant, as batteries play a larger part in our lives and in our grids. And battery problems can be on a wide spectrum from, annoying if the battery can't hold the charge that we thought it would, but, we can kind of deal with it. But it can be downright catastrophic, as we've seen in several incidents, including in Australia and the Victorian Big Battery from Tesla, but also recent examples from the United States. And so as batteries become more and more important in our grids and in our lives, we need to make sure that they run safely and, at a good reliability. And so I've been doing batteries since 2008 as a scientist. And over the years, it really became clear to me that the missing link for successful battery operations is software. Because all batteries generate tons of data during their day-to-day operation from the BMS, the battery management system, the small chip that's on all lithium-ion batteries that is not used properly today. And the Acure battery platform really does that. We take battery data from operational assets into the cloud, use physics-based models, machine learning to understand what's happening inside of the batteries and predict whether there will be a safety incident, whether it will perform as expected, if we can make more money with the battery, and to improve its lifetime. And the great thing is it works with all commercially available lithium-ion batteries, and we don't need to change anything about the product. You can just retrofit the solution to any big battery. And this is not just a great idea, but it's really working. We have over 1 million batteries on our platform today, including over 20% of all assets in Texas, which is the leading market for grid-connected batteries worldwide. It's going to be over 20% of the UK within the next 2 weeks. We're still waiting for one contract, and we already have 2 customers in Australia. And this is really also what I want to pitch to you here in this virtual room. We are expanding to Australia. It's very clear for us that this will be the 3rd subsidiary. We're starting internationally and building on the 2 customers we already have. We want to get in touch with more parties that could benefit from getting more out of their batteries, having them operate safer and make more money with it. So if that feels interesting to you, let me know, and I'm happy to show, with more details what we can do. Thank you all.
Thank you, Kai Philip. And I can see, Cedric, you're already answering some questions there in the Q&A. But before I let you go, Dr. Kai Philip, can you talk a little bit about some of the projects that you do have in Australia at the moment?
Well, it's not public, but we have at the moment 2 big batteries, like double-digit megawatt-hour systems, where we are analyzing both the safety and perhaps one thing I should mention, we are the only software solution globally that is recognized by insurance groups. So insurers incentivize energy companies to use our services through differentiated insurance terms because they really see that it makes a difference in the risk profile of these systems.
Thank you. And Cedric and Dr. Kai Philip Karis, I'd like you to both stick around to answer any more questions in the chat there. Just hold on to everybody for a couple more minutes as we finish up here. It's been a really intense few months here in the EnergyLab Scaleup Program. We've facilitated mentor intros, held pitch days with more than 10 climate funds, case study presentations with industry and government participants, peer-to-peer sessions with our alumni NERA and Infravision, pitch training with Peter Brown, AMA sessions with industry partners, mentor speed networking, and really importantly, facilitated over 50 conversations between startups and industry, and those conversations are ongoing as they explore the potential for working together. So a huge thank you for the speakers who have come along during the program and who've provided advice and insight to the startups involved. And again, a huge thank you to the industry partners. This program is industry-led, and it wouldn't be possible without them. So while today marks the formal end for our partners and the cohort, the work doesn't stop. We'll continue to explore commercial opportunities uncovered during the program. We're always interested in talking to new industry partners, mentors and investors to engage with the startup ecosystem. So please get in touch to find out more. If you'd like to be put in touch with any of the startups, reach out to them directly on LinkedIn or get in touch with myself or someone else from the EnergyLab team, and we'd be very happy to facilitate warm intros where that's appropriate. Thank you to the startup cohort today. Thank you to Mel from Endeavour Energy, Megan Fisher, Luke and Alden from the EnergyLab team for their support behind the scenes. At EnergyLab, we're inspired by the work that these startups do. It's a privilege to be able to work with you all, and we're confident that you all have the ability to contribute to our journey to net zero. I'm going to leave the webinar open for any Q&As to be finished up here, but thank you all for joining, and we look forward to seeing you around the clean energy space.